Welcome back to season 6. I know, 6 of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. I'm back. I have not seen you guys for quite a while. It's been since last spring that I was on the air. I got to tell you, I had to take a break from the Bears after the last 2 or 3 years. I was so burnt out and frustrated like everybody else. But I'm back. I'm rejuvenated. For the most part, I'm old. You can only be so rejuvenated at this age. But I'm back to talk Chicago Bears. Now, today's my first show since last spring, and my official show for the games will start this Friday. The Bears play on Monday night, which really blows, because who wants to wait till Monday night, right? I know. But, so what I'll do is, I'm explaining it real quick, I always do a Friday show, or a Wednesday show if they play on Thursday. And then I always follow it up the day after the Bears play. So I do 2 shows a week. So put that in your memory book, and welcome back, especially to I have some pretty good followers that follow me every year, and I always thank you from the bottom of my heart. The fact that anybody listens to me or turns me on, boom, boom, is awesome. I mean, I'm 67, I'm a lady, I'm living out here in Vegas. And I left Illinois in January of 18, so I've been here ever since. I'm here with my son and his wife and my awesome grandkids, who of course are Chicago Bear fans already. So welcome. I hope everyone had a great off season. For the most part, I did. I'm not going to go into what happened to me again in the off season, because there was some bumpy roads, I will tell you. Getting old is not for the old. But you know what? Who cares? So I'm back. Today's show is really just to get me. Today's show is my preseason show to get me back in the saddle again, getting used to talking on camera, talking about the Bears, and trying to get their names right. Because if you're a regular follower, you know I can't pronounce anybody's name. I'm terrible at names. I can't even remember names. You giving me your phone number? Not a problem. Your name? Forget it. Sometimes I have to look at my driver's license to remember my name. Yahoo! Oh, she's on a roll today. But no, I'm glad to be back here. And let's face it, we're in a new season, and a lot happened in the off season. We know we had the draft. We had a pretty good draft. I felt we had a better free agent signings than we did a draft, but we'll see. You know what? We had a good draft. We got some players. Got a tight end. I like we got a undrafted wide receiver who I'm digging. So let's just hope that we can pull this thing together. And first and foremost, we have a brand new coach, Ben Johnson. Welcome to Bears Land. And this coach, is a coach. There's a lot to talk about him. I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit things here and there. And on Friday's show, before Monday night's game, I'll kind of get into more of the dirty, nitty-gritty. So again, my preseason show to see how well I do. Because, sometimes it's bumpy. But I really hope you're all coming back. Tell everybody about me. I do this show because I love it. I started it during COVID. I live alone. I was bored as hell. And my friends, it was really their idea. They were like, you love to talk and you love the Bears. Okay. And then I have a buddy who does a podcast. It's called Chicago Bears Podcast. No, it's not. Okay, I already forgot it. Oh, I'm so sorry, Dan. But we'll talk about that later. And then I met him, and sometimes I'm on his podcast, so look for those too. But we'll talk about those later. So let's get into it. I really hope everybody's ready to go for this season. I chose not to drink the Kool-Aid this year because I drank it the last 3 years and it got me nowhere, sick to my stomach. Not doing it this year. So, let's get into it. So, first and foremost, I have to talk about two very important people from the Bears organization that passed away. First and foremost, Mrs. Virginia McCaskey. God bless her. She was 100 or 101, I can't remember. Wonderful woman. There is a great documentary out there about ladies who own football teams in the NFL. And the things about Mrs. McCaskey are really awesome, after I saw that, I ended up reading more about her. And what a down-to-earth, really cool lady. And really all she wanted to do was win. It's unfortunately that her children running the team and nephews, etc., don't know how to do it. So I really wanted to see the Bears get to the playoffs at least, let alone the Super Bowl, before she passed, but it did not happen. So now we've got Mrs. McCaskey. God bless you. You're a wonderful woman up there. Maybe it'll help. She's rooting for us. So, my heart goes out to the McCaskey family, but she was a wonderful, wonderful woman. And then, of course, Steve McMichael. I mean, what can I say? He's a Chicago Bear. I don't care if he didn't end up on the Bears. Always will be a Chicago Bear. That guy played his ass off. That's why he ended up getting sick with, what was it, ALS? I always get ALS and MS mixed up, but I think it was ALS, and because he played. I bet that guy played with more concussions than anybody. He played his ass. I mean, he was a scary ass dude, wasn't he? And I had the fortunate pleasure of seeing him play his career as a Bear and in the '85 Super Bowl. So, you know what? God bless him. He went through a long suffering, and it's just not right, but he was one hell of a football player. And my nephew, actually, I told a story years ago. I'm not going to get into the whole Big Giant story, but my nephew ended up meeting, I'll tell you a quick story. My nephew, who is he's sort of into football, and he was in Chicago with his girlfriend. They were at some kind of fundraiser. And Steve McMichael was there. My nephew went up to him, met him, shook his hand, started talking to him a little bit, had a good conversation with him. And then my nephew left the fundraiser and went to a bar. And he said about 30 minutes later, who walks in the bar? Steve McMichael. He's like, oh my God. And he said he literally came right over to him, my nephew, and his girlfriend, and sat down and started talking to them. And he's like, oh, I'm so glad I ran into you. I really had a great conversation with you at the fundraiser. And he started to go into relationship advice. And at that point, I know he was divorced. I don't know if he was remarried, but I just thought it was really funny. Steve McMichael giving my nephew relationship advice. But my nephew got to try on his Super Bowl ring. And I'm like, what? I am, in my family, out of all of my brothers and sister and nieces and nephew, some of them are Packer fans. I don't even want to talk about it. But I'm the biggest fan. Hands down obsessed. And he got to try on the Super Bowl ring. And he said it was real cool because he said Steve McMichael let everybody in the bar try it. And at one point my nephew said, aren't you afraid you won't get that back? He goes, nah, I could take anybody in here. So God bless the McMichael family. And you know what? You were a great man. Rest in peace. You are out of pain now. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. So, the Bears, it's 2025 season, and I have been a Bears fan, kid you not, for 50 years. I started watching the Bears in 1975. I'm not going to go into the big story. After church, came home. I went up to my parents' bedroom. We only had 2 TVs in the house. My dad had control of the downstairs TV. So, the TV was like 13 inches. We had 5 channels. I turned on the TV, and the Bears game came on. So I'm like, all right, I watched them a few times. And there was this guy, number 34. And not kidding, I think it might have been the second game of the season. It was. Anyways, I'm like, who is this? And he was running up and down the field, and I'm not kidding. That's the day I became a Bears fan. So it's 50 plus years. It's 50 years this year for me. And literally, if you know me, you know I've probably missed 10 games in 50 years. I'm really an avid fan, and I know I'm a woman, but I love them. I breed the Bears. Okay, so 2025 season is upon us. The Bears haven't lost a game yet. Oh wait, they haven't played one yet. So, but not good news here. So the Bears have the third hardest schedule this season, according to the experts. Giants have the hardest. The Detroit Lions, the second hardest, and the Bears are the third. The three easiest schedules are for San Francisco, New Orleans, and the Patriots. They have the easiest schedule this year. So, you know what? We'll see. You know what? Yeah, schedules make a big deal on who you play, but they're also going off of what happened last year. So a lot of things can change, but if you look at the schedule, it's pretty tough. But again, new year, just because a team was good last year does not mean they're going to be good this year, except for our Bears, of course. So we'll see. You know what? We got to stay positive. We can't concentrate on that. I'm grateful that they're not playing the Packers the first game this year, because how many years in a row has that happened? And that has just blown. Talk about starting the season with the Packers and then losing. So, let's see what happens. You know what? We're not going to concentrate on it's you deal with one game at a time, okay? So, but there was something else I wanted to tell you before I got into the rest of it. But so the Bears have some pretty famous fans. And this year, the Bears have the most famous fan of all. And if this isn't a good thing for the Bears, I don't know what it is. But Pope Leo, yeah, he's a Bears fan. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. First American to be a Pope. And he's a Chicago White Sox fan and a Bears fan. I'm a Sox fan. They blow, I know. But he's a Bears fan. So think about that. Think about the juju we could be getting from him. I mean, I'm just saying, it can't hurt. And of course, another really famous one who I just love her. Who doesn't like Simone Biles? I mean, seriously. Cutest little thing I've ever seen, and frickin' talented. And a sweetheart. She's married to Owens, who is on our defense. And then two more. I'm just going to throw them out there. Vince Vaughn and Bill Murray. But really, Pope Leo is the main one, right? So, okay, Pope, we're counting on you, right? We are counting on you to give us a little luck, okay, my friend? So, the Bears were 2-0-1 in the preseason, so they won 2 and tied 1. But honestly, preseason doesn't really mean a whole lot because they only play their starters. I don't even think we saw the whole defense in the whole preseason together as a unit. They don't play them a lot, and you're trying to really determine what your 53 roster will look like, especially with the young guys you've drafted, the undrafted players you have, players that were on the practice squad last year. So you're really working for that, and you don't want to give away too much. You don't want to give away your hand on what you're going to look like in preseason, so you got to watch it a little bit. But of course, everybody, when they watched the Buffalo game, how they creamed them. But again, Buffalo played all second, third, and fourth stringers in that game. But a win is a win, and there's been some positive things out of this this preseason that I've seen that I haven't seen in a long, long time. One of them is this. It was against, I think it might have been the Buffalo game. So, they had scored. I don't know if they scored, but it doesn't. Yeah, I think they did. It doesn't really matter. So they had an offensive drive. It was over. They went to commercial. They came back, and there's our 3 quarterbacks, Williams, Bagent, and Keenum, sitting on the bench, all talking with tablets in their hand, talking to the coach. Now, I've been a Bears fan a long time. I can't even remember the last time I've seen the Bears do that. You see other teams all the time when I'm watching, because, I tell you, I watch all games all the time. It starts Thursday and it ends Monday. And in the middle, there's college for me, so I'm obsessed. I am like, this is my hobby, and I am digging that it's back. And, but I've never seen that in so long, and I know it sounds like a stupid thing to be talking about, but think about it, guys. If you're a Bears fan, you'd be like, when was the last time you saw a quarterback sitting looking at the tablet with everybody talking and the coaches there? Didn't happen. I know Fields never did it. A little encouragement, little things like that make a big difference, right? And then the players during preseason, most of the players said the same thing. Players that have been with the Bears for a while and players that came from other teams said it was by far the hardest spring training camp they've ever had. And you know what? And that goes back to the Ditka days and Lovie Smith days, because that's what the players said for those two coaches. And that says a lot. Not like that pussy we had, Floose, and before him, the dummy that wore the visor who was bald. Those guys did not push these guys. That's what camp is for. Push, push, push. See what you got. Practice stuff, but he did not let up on him, and I love it. As a matter of fact, during I think it was he played the Buffalo game. One of the preseason games before the game, and Cabe did not play, but an hour and a half before the game, Ben Johnson took some receivers and Cabe, they went out on the field and they threw, he said something like 75 balls. He said he puts me through it. He worked Williams really, really hard. And that's what we need to see. We need to see. So, you know what? The thing is you got Williams coming into his second year. He's a sophomore now, and quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, you don't expect a lot out of them their first season, and if you get it, bonus. Like Daniels, Washington, C.J. Stroud at Texas when he started. So. But Cabe did the best he could, in my opinion, with what he had to work with last year. He had no line. He had no coaches. He had no offensive coordinator. There was no direction. You can tell because from what you saw last year to just a camp this year, huge. I mean, it's like a professional organization, and that's been something we've lacked for an extremely long time. And in my opinion, Lovie Smith was the last one, and then Ditka before him. So it is so important that Williams starts out great because we need to see improvement and growth from him this year. And the fact that he has an offensive coordinator preseason for Lynn as a head coach, I think is so awesome for Williams. He is a blessed guy because he knows what he's doing. You saw what he did with Detroit. I mean, they should have gone to the Super Bowl. I think the head coach is the one that cost him that with some of the bonehead moves he made in the playoffs. But who cares about that? But Williams, it's so important. Second year is huge. We have to see big steps from last year to this year. And some of the steps are he needs to settle his feet. He needs to start looking at his progressions a lot faster and getting into them. He's got to make quicker decisions. He's got to be making sure he's reading the defense better. And the little I saw him preseason, I saw some growth there. There's no doubt about it. But there's definitely more room for improvement. And I'm thinking we're going to see it. But one of the biggest things is he's really got to learn to set his feet and see the field. Last year, even if the line looked like it was caving in, because he had the most sacks. What was it? Something I didn't look at. I want to say it was like 68, and they were not all on the offensive line. They were definitely not on the offensive line. But Cabe, a lot of them were on Cabe too. But a rookie. So he's got to learn to trust his line, set his feet, and get his progressions. Now, I saw him do that in that Buffalo game, of course, against second stringers, but still, I saw some growth. I saw what I like. He's got to take command. He's got to really believe in himself, and the team believes in him. And I think that the tough coaching that Johnson's putting on him is going to bring out the best in him. And this will be a key to the success of the Chicago Bears this year. The key, Cabe Williams, I call him Cabe. I know my son hates it, but I do it. It's my show. I can do what I want. And the offensive line, huge. Now, the offensive line, for the most part, the starting offensive linemen are all signed through Cabe's rookie contract. Now that's a good thing because that means you're having continuity consistently, something the Bears haven't had at least in the last 3 years for sure on that offensive line. Now, I think, that's why I really liked the free agency pickups that the Bears did, because they went after offensive line guys and desperately needed. Poles should have done it. Started 2 years ago. He should have done it last year. He just didn't. And he learned his lesson, didn't he? So now you got to protect your franchise, which is Cabe Williams, number 18. So with the line being much better, just by the personnel, this is going to help Williams tremendously. So, and the other thing is, we got to get that running game going again. Now, I'm a little concerned because we're pretty banged up there. But Williams has got, we'll get back to the running game in a minute. Williams has got a lot of target. He's got 2 really good tight ends. We know Cole Kmet is awesome. And now we got Colston, that we got from Michigan in the offseason, and I like him. Actually, I drafted him on my fantasy football, which, by the way, I have never done before. My son talked me into it. No one really explained the drafting. I read a lot, but next year, totally different. I really blew it. I do not have a good team. But, oh, well, it's only for fun. Anyways, the Bears got 2 awesome tight ends, and Ben Johnson loves to use tight ends. That's why they went for Colston Loveland. And they took him number 10, which shocked, or number 9, which shocked everybody. Everybody thought they were going for somebody else, but they took him. So that's a huge improvement. And I've always been a Kmet fan. I was pissed that they underused him last year, so I don't think that's going to happen this year. And, in the backfield, we've got wide receivers. Moore, Rome, Luther the third, who looks really good, and then that surprise number 20, which I think he's changing his number to 10, Walker, the undrafted Walker. He was 20 in the preseason, and he was a riot. He caught the winning touchdown on the last preseason game, which made the Bears win over Kansas City, and then he caught a touchdown in the Buffalo game, and I love his celebration. And this is what they said about this kid when he first stepped into Hallis Hall. The coaches and the teammates and general manager, everybody said the same thing. He is different. He has energy. He has passion. He's kid-like love for football. He loves football. And of course, his ability to get open and get all over the field. His teammates love him, and they watched his highlight reel, and they said, this kid is talented. And he went undrafted, but he made the starting right lineup. I think, watch out for him. Like I said, I'm almost sure I read, well, I know he was 20 in the preseason, but I'm sure he wants to change to 10. So we've got wide receivers. Okay, so couple things. When was the last time we had that many wide receivers? Seriously, that problem where you almost can't even do it. And then you've got 2 great tight ends. And Swift's once in a while, the running back, he can catch. Now, if with the offensive line, the wide receivers, and our tight ends, Cabe Williams has a lot of talent. My biggest concern is the running game. I was pissed about it last year. Swift didn't even hit 1,000 yards. He was close, but he didn't. And it's huge. You have to have a running game if you're going to be a successful passing game. So we all know that, right? That's basics. Because if you start running the ball, then they've got to respect that. Then you can step back and you can start throwing some bombs and this and that. So the running game is huge, but we've got, and I will tell you that in a minute, we've got several running backs on IR already, and that's just not going to work, so we gotta. That's where the line is really going to be important for the Bears, is to help the line. I'm not a big Swift fan. I wasn't last year. If you watch my show, I was all over his ass. In the beginning, I don't even think he was playing his best. He started to come on as the season went later, but he's really, really got to step up. And in my opinion, if he doesn't, he'll be gone next year. He won't be. And my biggest concern on the offense, hands down, running backs. Hands down. Let's see. I can tell you who is on the running backs. Hang on, give me a second. I got to go down to my notes. Remember preseason for Lynn. Okay, here we go. No. I don't know where they went. Shit. Oh well. I know that Homer's on IR. And for our starting, and there's another guy on IR for our running back too. So I'm sorry, I'll find it here somewhere. Again, don't get mad at me. So, we're going to talk. So that's it. We'll get more into it. Like I said, Friday, into all that. But right now, I'm just kind of going over. And then our defense. We have an awesome new defensive coordinator, which we desperately needed, Dennis Allen. He has a lot of experience behind him, a lot of wins, and he is going to bring this team together, barring injuries. What's really huge for the team this year is, and what hurts is, Austin Booker is on IR too. He'll be out 4 weeks, which really blows. And Jalen Johnson did not participate at all in preseason. So another worry, but they keep saying Jalen Johnson is going to be ready, and we really need him back there. And what's coming back this year is number 9, Brisker. He's one of my favorite. I love him. He went out after the Carolina game last year with a concussion and never came back. And I want to say that was his second really bad concussion. So it's a concern for this young man. You don't want to see him have his career cut short, but that's a concern. And when Brisker was out, to that point, we had so many interceptions until he went out, and then we didn't. He's a ball hog, and he helps his other players around him, Gordon. I got to get back into their names. Preseason for Lynn. But he helps his other players in the backfield. It opens up for them to get interceptions. So if Brisker and the rest of the defense can stay healthy, we've got a really, really good chance. But the thing the Bears need to work on most is that defensive line has got to stop the run, and they got to get after the quarterback. They have got to. Sacks, we all love sacks, but rushing the quarterback and making him flustered, miss his throws, whatever, is just as important as a sack. So the Bears' defensive line has got to step up, and I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year. And number one, again, stop that run and get in that quarterback's face, which is going to help turnovers, that was something we were lacking last year. Turnovers are huge. They are such a benefit, So that's what we got to do. The Bears, at times during preseason they look good, but we never saw the complete D on the preseason together, so we don't really know. But there was some times, I got to tell you, there were some guys out there, the second and third stringers who were playing defense in the preseason. They were playing their ass off. I will not die of that. So we know what we need to do. offense, defense. I'm very confident with our punter, Taylor, number 19. He was so good last year. I think he's going to be even better this year. I would love to see him hit the 5-yard line consistently with his punts this year, which is only going to help your defense. So I think another year under his belt, another sophomore year for one of our guys, and I love this guy. He's enthusiastic. He loves football. Came from Iowa, the team Iowa, and they always have good players. So, and we've got Santos, solid, not the best by any means, but solid kicker. So we're good there. So we know, and special teams. I was a little worried about special teams as far as the guys on punt returns and kickoffs. I'm sure it'll get better, I hope. That was one thing I wasn't digging too much. But so that's all I'm really going to say. I'm not going to get into too much. Again, Friday I'm going to go over more. So, but I talked about what we needed and this and that. And so, as I was saying, our first game is on Monday night, which really, really sucks because, you know what? The Bears don't have the greatest, they're not the greatest on Monday night. So the Bears, since Monday night started, the Bears are 32-40 overall. So it's a losing season. They're 17-15 at home. They're 15-25 on the road. So the only good thing about it is they play Monday night in Soldier Field. So that's a good thing. So, but I don't want to wait till Monday night. It sucks, but you gotta, right? So at least I know I'm not going to be bummed on Sunday if the Bears were to lose. But I think it is so important that the Bears, this is one thing too about the Bears this year, that they never have been good at is getting off to a good start. Winning the first game is huge because it's just a good momentum, because it's the first game. It gets everybody jacked, and it's also a team from our league. It's Minnesota. So you give them a loss, which is huge. That's the thing this year, too, is we've got to at least beat every team, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit, at least once. We have to be at least 500 with them. Anything less, we're not going to make it, because that has been a huge problem for us many years now, and we all know it, especially the last couple of years. So it's huge. And they got to get off. For a win is just huge. And the other thing I believe is the Bears' offense and defense is their first couple series, they have got to, like when the Bears, they did it in the Buffalo game. The first series, it was the offensive first team, and they went right down the field and scored a touchdown. And I said to my son, that's what they need to do all the time in games. They are always, not always, but a lot are starting from behind. They need to, even on Monday night, even if they don't score the first time they get it, they've got to take it way down to the field to give their defense a chance. You can't do 3 and out. These 3 and outs have got to stop. You've got to move the ball. It's so important, and getting off to a fast start is just only going to help everybody, defense, offense. So, and we know they haven't been good about that. So let's hope that they do. Let's hope that they, that's something. Well, with Ben Johnson, he's just a hard ass. There's no doubt. One of the guys on the team said, they said, hey, in that Buffalo game when you guys were creaming Buffalo, Ben Johnson looked pissed. And they go, oh, he looks like that all the time. They said, he's a hard guy, but he will laugh. He likes a joke. He'll goof around. But bottom line, he's there to win football games, championships, and make these players the best they can be. So we've got a real head coach. There's no doubt about it. I talked about it in the winter when they signed him. I came back and talked about it. So we all know. So I also wanted to give a shout out to the Bears for rewarding number 17, our backup quarterback, a contract, 2 years, I believe, and awesome. And I got to tell you, again, 50 years fan, I don't remember the Bears ever having 2 good quarterbacks. When has that ever been an issue for the Bears? And I guarantee you, teams have called the Bears and offered to trade for Bajent because people say his arm strength might be his only lacking thing, but he has so many other skills, and he showed it in preseason. Very, very good backup. And then they kept Case Keenum because of his mind. He's been around, he's smart, he can help mentor them both. So when has this ever been like that? I mean, it's freaking awesome. 50 years and we have two quarterbacks. Right on. All right, and there's two other things. One, I'm going to mention this. You know what I really, really don't like? I know my son's like, I think you're making a big deal on nothing, but I don't care. I don't like that on the first downs, if it's, it's close, they're going to electronically do it. The chain gang isn't going to come out. The chain game's going to be on the sideline, but they're doing it by using a computer, and I don't like that. I am old school. Well, I am old. Hey, watch it. Anyways, I'm old school. I want the chain gang to come out, and then I was like, hey, man, you're putting people out of work, but they're not because they still need chain gangs. And the chain gang guys, I didn't know this, they do get paid. Not a lot. They get paid, they said, like $150 a game, and they're local, but I always wondered if they got paid, and they do. So that's pretty much it. Oh, and one of the other things I wanted to mention, because I know this week a lot of Bears fans have been talking about it. Yeah, Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer fan. Dallas got rid of him. Not shocking. But you know what? Oh, yeah, he's good. There is no doubt about it. It's going to make a difference for Green Bay. But starting next year, because they have two huge contracts now, because they paid him a boatload. And last year, they paid and extended their quarterback, a boatload contract too. So now they got two huge contracts, a lot of money tied up, which always makes it hard for the years to go. So basically, the Packers went all in this year. They think they can win the Super Bowl with that signing of Micah Parsons. But I guarantee you that in the next couple of years, if they don't win now, it's going to hurt them. It really is, because when you give it all to one player, so, we'll see. But you know what? Don't worry about it. It happened. People were pissed that the Bears didn't do it. Are you kidding me? The Bears, no way they're going to give away 2 first-round picks. Bears still need their number 1 picks. They don't have all the pieces. They're very close, and they can win, I believe, with, consistent, great play, and this and that, but they cannot give up, and a lot of money. But what got me was the 2 first-round picks. No damn way. Bears were not going to do that. They're not in that situation, so people forget about it, think about it that way, and you'll feel better. Okay? So, on that note, and I couldn't have, I must have not put it in my notes. Again, preseason for Lynn, but I do know that Homer and another running back, are on IR along with Austin Booker, who I've always been a fan of. So, but you know what? There's always somebody waiting to play. So I went on way too long. I didn't mean to. See, I always time myself. I have to, because I'm a chatterbox. But I just want to say welcome back again. I just went over things. We're not. Friday's show, we'll talk about Monday night's game, and then we're going to rock and roll. So I'm starting to feel jazzed now. It's like a little, I got to start doing my shows. But you know what? I love you guys. And hopefully I will bring you good shows. I will make you laugh, because I do. Of course, number one thing, 67-year-old woman with her father's face. It is just not fair. But I'm so glad to be back. I hope you all watch me. Tell everybody about me, because I'm fun. I'm not one who, I give stats before the game, talk about my opinions, this and that. And it's usually about 35-minute show, a little longer today, but sometimes less. And I always try to make people laugh in there. I don't go, I don't do schemes. I don't do this. I don't do that. I'm just, basically what I think. Again, my show. But we do like to have a lot of fun on this show, that's for sure. So comments are always welcome. Please come back. Tell everybody to come back. I know it's going to be a little bit before everybody realizes I'm back on the air, but I am. I'm back. So anyways, I'll see you Friday. And as always, I always, and for the last 6 years, have done the same thing every end of the show. Be kind to one another. Love one another, respect people. We're all in this world together, and things have been tough. There's no doubt about it. I don't get into, anything like that on my show, but I just want you just to love one another. There are good people out there. There's shitty people, but there's a lot more good people. And if you smile at somebody, if you're out and about, I smile at everybody. I say hi to people. Of course, I'll talk to anybody. I mean, my sister says that all the time when we're traveling, this and that. Do you know the janitors too? And I'm like, yeah. But be kind. And just remember, we're all in this together. We're all trying our best. And you never know what's going on in somebody's life. You just don't. And sometimes a smile can change what's going on. So be kind. And Bears fans, we rock. You know what? We've been through a lot, and it's our turn. Don't you agree? It is our damn turn. I just want a 500 season. Of course, I want to go to the playoffs like everybody else, but the last 3 seasons, let's at least be 500. I don't want to be crabby and bitchy every time I do this show this year. Last year, all I did was say the F word and be mad, and I don't want to do that, okay? So let's start out, and I'm going to keep the tradition up. Every win, you get the victory song from me. I know, y'all want it, right? I know. Okay, so thank you all for watching me. See you back Friday. Tell everybody. And let's get this 2025 season going, baby, because the Bears are going to be winning, right? Yeah. So, see you Friday, and as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby.